Master meetings that matter. Welcome to day 106 of our Supersize Your Business Annual Challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Let's talk about this today. Meetings. How much time have you spent in meetings throughout your lifetime? You don't have to do your whole life. Do your current job. Do something smaller that you can actually calculate that doesn't make you feel horrible. That was unproductive. I did this in one of my first corporate jobs, and I realized I was spending 100 hours to 1 unproductive to productive time in meetings. All of the time I spent in meetings in a year in that organization was over 10,000 hours. I could have mastered a whole new skill. And about 1 hour of things that came out of that would have been what I considered productive and moved my department and my career and my own goals and objectives ahead for myself in that organization. Really eye-opening activity and time spent actually self-reflecting in that role, because it made me an incredibly powerful meeting leader and meeting haver. Every meeting that I had for my department followed a very different format than other departments did. We sent out an agenda 24 hours ahead of time. Everybody knew it was on the agenda. We only had the people that actually needed to be there. Everybody else just got a copy of the notes or the action items that came out of that meeting, so that we weren't wasting everybody's time and energy. How many meetings have you been in where there's like 10 or 12 people there and you really only need 2 or 3, and only 2 or 3 are participating because it's important to them? Everybody else is multitasking and waiting for their turn at the meeting. Not a very good use of time. So we always still have an agenda. It's out the day before, so everybody that's participating has a chance to prepare and show up ready. We have facilitators at the meeting, somebody that keeps us on track with the agenda and manages time so that we don't go over and under. We have all kinds of things that we do now around meetings that make them more productive. Why? Because I also calculated the cost per hour of many of the meetings that I was a participant in or meetings that I led. If I took the hourly rate of what everybody in the meeting that was attending the meeting was costing the company, and if it's my company, to me it became even more important, but I did this in corporate America when it was someone else's company, that the amount of money wasted because 80% of the people at that meeting were not necessary, and they could have been doing something else. They could have been spending their time moving their department and their part of the business ahead. So most meetings are horrible, right? I would like a show of hands or comment in the comments below. How many meetings have you been to? Do you just estimate in your life that were super duper productive versus what percentage were productive? Let's look at that. Let's just, what percentage do you think, hey, I'm so glad I went to that meeting. I learned so much, da, 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 da. Now, there's different types of meetings, right? So let's not get into that. Let's just take the overall guess of how much time you've invested in meetings, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. We are investing our time in an activity. Sometimes it's a requirement of your job to be involved in a meeting or to lead a meeting. I guess I could share strategies with that for you too, but realize that your time is valuable. So it's up to you as an individual to see the agenda ahead of time. Go prepared, know what your part in the meeting is and what is expected of you. Do that thing. Maybe it's a project meeting, and you're the head of one of the main components of the project. And so you need to give a status report. You need to let people know how it's going, what you need help with. And you can do that in about 1 minute. Summarize your project, summarize where you're at, summarize the next thing that you're doing, your next priority, or what you need help with. That's all you have to do. So it's up to you to show up prepared. It's up to you to be present at the meeting, at least for your part. What we started doing is each different department for department head meetings would come in, share their piece, and then leave. We have a note taker. So somebody takes notes, and within 2 hours of the meeting ending, those notes are distributed to everybody who cares or is a part of or just needs an update on what's going on in the particular meeting. We start and we end on time. If we're going to need more time, we stop at the appropriate time and we either say, yes, we need to keep going on this, or no, this is when we're going to reconvene. And it's usually within the next 24 hours, but we put out the agenda for why we're reconvening. every time we tape something and we systematize it, that's now a process that we can improve. And one of the things I highly recommend you do is do that with meetings. Have an SSOP for meetings. What is your standard operating procedure for meetings? How should they be run? It helps to build the culture in your organization so that you do have efficient and effective meetings and people are not wasting tons of time and tons of energy. I don't know about you, but going to department head meetings automatically every week used to suck the life out of me. And I was one of those people that was multitasking, because if I was spending 5 hours of my day or more in meetings, that was 5 hours I wasn't moving the business ahead. It's 5 hours. I was literally, my part might have been 5 minutes of that 5 hours total, where I was adding something to the meeting that only I could add. So today, I challenge you, and I wasn't even going to do this, but now I do. I challenge you to audit the meetings and your schedule and how much time you're spending in meetings. Now, there are meetings that are absolutely, positively, totally productive. Sales meeting, training meetings, all different types of meetings that move the business ahead by bringing more customers into the business, building relationships. There is a reason and a season and a purpose for every meeting, but make sure you know what that is up front and that you're going to achieve that objective with the meeting that you're calling and leading and bringing together. And then for fun of it, let's just share in our comments below what makes a great meeting, or you can do positive or negative. What makes an awesome, great meeting? What's the best meeting you ever attended? I was going to say my wedding, but that's so not true. Hindsight being 2020. And what is the worst meeting you've ever attended? I haven't thought about my worst meeting. I'll have to think about it for a long, long time. I think it was probably when I got fired. That was a very bad meeting. Yep. And they're done that for just about everything. Getting fired is one of those things too. All right. Can I help you with anything? If I can, hit me up and ask. I am working on a new project and I'm looking for business owners, whatever state or stage you're in, that would like to do a 20-minute research call with me. I'm just getting research to get a feel for what people really need, want, and desire. Not a sales call, nothing, just hey, I've just a few serious questions, a little bit about your business, what your biggest challenges are, and things like that. Just like, it's like 5 questions. So it takes less than 15, 20 minutes. That kind of activity is a very productive type of meeting because it helps me get insight into what the people that I'm here to serve actually need and want and desire, not what I think they need, want, and desire. Because guess what? My mind reading skills are non-existent or very rusty. So I'm not going to guess properly. That's why I asked. All right. If I can help you anyway, hit me up. Otherwise, I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Put yes in the comments below if you're open to me contacting you and us just having a quick, we can either do it face-to-face, like through a platform, or just on the phone or via text message, whatever works for you. I can just ask you a few questions and you can let me know so that I make sure I am on the right track and not wasting anybody's time and energy with something that nobody really cares about but me. It's not about meetings, by the way. All right. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.